Who was the greatest economic president in American history? It's a question that often sparks intense debate, but today, we're going to settle it using key economic indicators. We'll count down from the fifth best president to the very best, focusing on GDP growth, unemployment rates, inflation control, and overall financial stability. Stick around because the results might surprise you. Starting off at number 5, we have President Ronald Reagan. Reagan took office in 1981 when America was struggling with stagflation. High inflation combined with stagnant economic growth and high unemployment. Reagan's policies, often referred to as Reaganomics, focused on cutting taxes, deregulation, and reducing government spending. Under his leadership, the U.S. economy saw average GDP growth of 3.5% per year during his 2 terms. Unemployment, which was at 10.8% during the early part of his presidency, dropped to 5.3% by the time he left office. Inflation, which had been a significant problem in the late 1970s, fell from 13.5% in 1980 to 4.1% in 1988. His administration is also credited with laying the groundwork for a prolonged period of economic expansion. Despite criticisms about income inequality and growing national debt, Reagan's economic record remains strong, earning him the 5th spot on our list. Coming in at number 4 is President Dwight D. Eisenhower. Serving from 1953 to 1961, Eisenhower presided over a period of relative economic prosperity. The post-war boom was in full swing, and his administration focused on maintaining stability while avoiding inflationary pressures. During his presidency, the U.S. saw an average GDP growth of around 2.9% annually. Unemployment remained low, averaging 4.6% throughout his 2 terms. One of Eisenhower's key economic achievements was the creation of the Interstate Highway System, a massive infrastructure project that not only improved transportation, but also boosted economic activity across the country. Inflation remained low during his tenure, averaging just 1.4%. His focus on balanced budgets and infrastructure development helped create a stable economic environment, making him a strong contender in our ranking. At number 3, we have Bill Clinton. Taking office in 1993, Clinton inherited a sluggish economy with high unemployment and a growing federal deficit. His administration focused on fiscal responsibility, welfare reform, and opening up international markets through trade agreements like NAFTA. Under Clinton, the U.S. experienced the longest peacetime economic expansion in its history, with average GDP growth of 3.8% annually. The unemployment rate dropped from 7.5% in 1993 to just 4% by the end of his 2nd term, one of the lowest levels in decades. Additionally, his administration achieved budget surpluses in the later years, a rare feat in modern American history. Inflation remained relatively stable, averaging around 2.5%. The tech boom of the late 1990s played a significant role in the strong economic performance, but Clinton's policies are often credited with creating a favorable environment for growth. These impressive numbers secure his spot as the 3rd greatest economic president. In the 2nd position, we have Franklin D. Roosevelt. FDR faced perhaps the greatest economic challenge of any president when he took office in 1933 during the depths of the Great Depression. With unemployment at 25% and banks failing across the country, Roosevelt implemented the New Deal, a series of programs and reforms aimed at providing relief, recovery, and reform. While GDP growth during his presidency averaged around 8.5% annually, it's important to note that this came after a significant economic contraction during the early 1930s. Unemployment remained high for much of his presidency, but dropped significantly as the economy recovered and World War II began. Inflation was generally low except during the war years. FDR's leadership during a time of unprecedented economic crisis helped stabilize the nation and laid the foundation for modern economic policy. His bold actions and the recovery that followed earn him the 2nd spot on our list. And finally, at number 1, we have none other than George Washington. While it may seem unusual to rank a president from the 18th century at the top of an economic list, Washington's leadership during the nation's infancy was crucial in setting the stage for future economic growth. Serving from 1789 to 1797, Washington established many of the key institutions that underpin the U.S. economy today. He supported the creation of the first Bank of the United States, helped stabilize the country's finances after the Revolutionary War, and laid the groundwork for a functioning economy. While we don't have modern GDP or unemployment data from his time, Washington's economic leadership was critical in ensuring the young nation's survival and future prosperity. His ability to guide the country through its formative years earns him the top spot as the greatest economic president in American history. So, there you have it. our countdown of the top 5 greatest economic presidents in American history. From Reagan's bold reforms to Washington's foundational leadership, each of these presidents played a pivotal role in shaping the U.S. economy. But what do you think? Did we miss someone who deserves to be on this list? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into history and economics.